used for just about any kind of marketing to increase blog traffic to your content. And the strategy is basically we're going to take our content. Let's see, I've got a piece here. We're going to take our content and just repurpose it. This is pretty simple. You might hear a lot about repurposing content. There's a lot you can do it for any. You can do it just for your book. Like if you publish a book, you could just break your book into little pieces and put them up in other places. We're going to focus on YouTube, Pinterest, and Slideshare, which are three that I use pretty effectively. And so, for example, this is what I would do. This is one post that I have. This is actually 1 out of 21. I have a book that's 21 parts, but actually might turn into 21 independent books. And what I did was just have a virtual assistant find quotes from famous people in my industry talking about specific topics. So this is a topic, how to write a bestseller, tips from the industry's finest. And there's just like 20 quotes by famous people about writing, which is a great piece of content, but I can do it better. The problem with this content is that not that many people are going to find my blog post because there's tons of competition. There's tons of like how to write a bestseller. There's probably tens of thousands of blog posts, probably by bloggers who have a bigger following and more traffic. So they're going to get ranked higher. It's going to be hard for anybody to find my piece of content. So what I can do is turn it into a PowerPoint presentation for Slideshare and a YouTube video and Pinterest pictures, any kind of pictures, graphics that you can use for Pinterest. Pictures are great because you can also put them on Facebook or Twitter. You can release like one a day. Quotes work really well. So this post could easily be like a month's worth of content because I could just break it up and release pictures one by one. So what I would do first, you can use PowerPoint. I'm not a fan of PowerPoint. I actually use Google Slides, I think it's called. It's just a little easier to use and it looks nicer. So I would take this whole thing and I would turn it into a PowerPoint presentation. So each quote would be a slide and I'd have to find a picture of the speaker for every quote. So that would give me like 20 or 30 slides. I'd design them nicely, I'd make them look good, and then I'd upload that to Slideshare. Then I'd take a YouTube video talking through the slides, probably just reading them all out, which would be a little boring. So I may not read all of them out. I might just read like 5 of my favorite quotes and scroll through it or something. And then I would also take pictures of each of those individual slides because they're nicely designed, and I would put them on Pinterest and other platforms. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me find, this is one that I did. Let me find the slides. It looks kind of something like this. This is one video. I actually broke this down into separate videos for every slide. So instead of like one 30-minute presentation, this was a presentation I did, I broke it down into like 10 3-minute videos because I can put each of those on YouTube under more specific topics with more specific headlines, which is good for keyword. Instead of like one video like how to be a bestseller, it's much more effective to have 50 videos on specific micro topics that people are actually searching for. So this is also just like it's a presentation video, but it's also one nice picture. I think there's a little bit more explanation. So even like that with just this much, it's not really enough, but it's still a nice looking picture. So some people might share it, and it works really well for sharing the content. So like when I have this video up on YouTube, I'll share the link to the YouTube video with this picture so that people can see that it's a well done, well-designed picture. It'll get their interest. They'll go to the YouTube video. I can also put this whole presentation up on Slideshare with links to my website, to my YouTube video, or whatever. But then I can also just take this picture and put it up on Pinterest under like book marketing or tips for authors or something like that. So this could have easily just been, I mean, this was originally just a blog post. It's just content. But by designing it, I'm able to use Pinterest and YouTube and Slideshare to put my content out in different formats and really cast a wide net. What you're doing is casting a really wide net. You can also share these pictures on Twitter and Facebook. You can share the YouTube video on Twitter and Facebook. I don't do that very much. I probably should do more of it, but I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not as organized as I should be. I'll show you another example for fiction. This is something I do often that's very effective, is I organize a giveaway of books in my genre. So like right now I'm writing this time travel, young adult, dystopian book. So I took a bunch of books by best-selling authors that are in a similar genre, and I put together this giveaway, which isn't very hard to do. And I'm actually just gifting the ebook copies. So this might cost, I don't know, $50, probably less than $100 to give away all these books. And there's the added advantage that I will show up if I give this away to several people. I'll start showing up in the also bots of this book for my book. And I'm also just associating myself and my platform and my writing with these other authors, which is a smart tactic. And the cool thing is, because I set up this giveaway, these authors who are involved in the giveaway have tweeted about my giveaway. It's a really easy way to start a conversation with best-selling authors in your genre. It gets you a lot of visibility, and it also kind of is just, it's good positioning, because now it makes me look more like a serious, respectable author, because even if people don't know who I am, they know who these other authors in my genre are. At least my ideal readers will know who these other authors are. So that's really important. I turned this giveaway into Best Sci-Fi Time Travel Books for Teens 2016 because this is a really good piece of content. It's very specific. Best Books for Teens is one of the really hot keywords. That's what people search for. But in my like in young adult book writing, people aren't really taking advantage of keywords like they should be. So when people are searching for, you know, best time travel books for teens 2016, they're going to find my blog post pretty quickly. And then down here I think I have, these are links to all the books. So I recommend all these books to other people. And if they buy them, then I'll show up in their also bots, which is good for me. Let's see, what was I going to say? I don't remember. I got kind of distracted. But my point was that, oh, I remember. I can take these books and in this content and turn them into a SlideShare presentation, which would actually be really powerful because it's one thing to do the giveaway. I'm already getting shared by these people, but I could make a SlideShare presentation of the best sci-fi time travel books for teens 2016. In that presentation, I would have each of these books with the book cover, a short description, and maybe a link to the author's website. If I put that together, all of the authors involved will share it. I can put it up as a SlideShare post. I can turn it into a YouTube video. This is already like a good piece of content, but if I really want it to rank well, it's not just about the visibility on the platforms like Pinterest and YouTube. It's also just about getting links from those platforms. So if I have links back from a lot of different platforms and I have a lot of people sharing these pieces of content, it's all pointing back to this specific post so that when anybody searches for best sci-fi books, best time travel books for teens, they're going to find my post pretty easily. And that's a great way to get new readers and get even parents who are searching for good books to recommend for their teens. They're going to end up on my website. They'll find out about me and the books that I'm writing, which is great marketing. So I would turn that into, I would make the content like this first, then I would turn it into a SlideShare presentation. I'd make a YouTube video for it. Each of those specific pictures of the slides could be new content. To get it to be really shared, if I was actually going to do it this way, what I would want to do is, instead of just taking like the Amazon description of these books, I would actually read the books and pull out like my favorite quote, something like that, or I'd get an excerpt, because it's something that will be shared more easily. If it looks promotional, if I had just this picture, when I do book marketing, like I don't say, hey, buy my book, it's 99 cents, free now. I just make really nice pictures, and I might share it with a really good excerpt, because that's enough. That's what you want people to share. You might put the link to the book at the bottom, but really you're just trying to get people to share your content, especially if you are talking about other authors and trying to get them to share your content so that you're getting yourself and your platform in front of those authors' platforms. That's kind of your end goal. So like there are 12 authors in this giveaway who are all pretty big authors who have big followings, and their followings and their readers are the types of readers that I hope will be interested in my book. That's why I'm doing it. So if I can if I can promote their books for them, if I can say nice things about their book, if I put up a Slideshare PowerPoint about young adult time travel books, and I have really powerful time travel related quotes for each book on each slide, each of those slides could be a really nice piece of content that each of those writers would want to share on their social media profiles or their Facebook or whatever. So I could share it on Twitter and tag them. Like every day I could share a new quote by a new time travel book and tag them so they'll see it. They're almost guaranteed to retweet it if you do it well. That's the kind of thing that's a lot more powerful than just writing a blog post. Because if you just write a blog post, no one's really going to see it because you don't have a really big blog and there's too much competition, unless you have really obscure keywords, which you should also be trying to do. Like my blog right now, it ranks really well for how do mermaids have sex, because one of my books is a mermaid book, and not a lot of people, but when people search for how do mermaids have sex, they find my blog, because not that many people have actually written about that topic, and I did that on purpose. So if you find tangibly related micro topics that some readers might be interested in, it's a good way to get more traffic to your blog. This blog I just started like 3 months ago. It already gets a couple hundred hits a day, and I'm really just starting. And I'm not even doing like the whole thing I just mentioned with the YouTube videos and the PowerPoint. That's a really smart traffic generating strategy that I should probably do, but I haven't done yet because I've got a lot of other things that I need to do as well, and time is short. But that's definitely something that you want to be thinking about doing with your own website and your own content, is using Pinterest and Slideshare and YouTube kind of as like one funnel or one net. It's pretty easy because you're really using the same content. You take your material or your blog post, you turn it into a PowerPoint presentation, you design it well, you add pictures, and then you turn it into a whole bunch of images that you can use and share, as well as YouTube videos and Slideshare presentations. You can also just do it for a book. Like I could turn this one novel into basically the cliff notes, like chapter by chapter. You could write a tiny, like a 3-sentence summary of the chapter, and then pull out the best quote from that chapter, and then turn that into a Slideshare presentation. It might have 20 or 30 slides for every chapter, but then you could make YouTube videos for it, you could share it, you could just take those nice quotes and turn them into images and share them, because people like sharing images. It's great marketing, it's so easy to do, and it'll be more powerful and more effective than just spamming promotions all the time. Thanks, I'm going to stop the video now.